You know, yeah, just yesterday I was having a discussion with some of my people, and we're talking about how, okay, so how some caterers or people, food, how they find a way to maybe get food or this thing cheaper, and you find that, okay, things are expensive, but maybe you're still getting the stew and the soup you need. And then I was told that, look, when it comes to food materials, there's fresh food, and then there's food that's not so fresh. And there's a way they do it. And so some of these people know how to get the ones that are not so fresh, and maybe bottom barrel, maybe if it's tomatoes or pepper, maybe the ones that have, you know, that are a little bit putrid or something.
Not a little bit, Mike. If you go to those markets where they sell those type of tomatoes, you'll be disgusted. Yes. Because they are rotten.
They even have a name.
Reality. And there are markets where you go there to buy it. And it's not...
My chest.
It's not,
but that's the truth now.
And then
with
think of it, so you
and
buy
everything.
it. Yes, of course, yes.
Yes, when they cook it to kill the maggots.
They will tell you, yes, when they wash it and blend it, it adds taste.
Yes, it adds taste.
It's giving you tangy.
There are some countries that eat maggots now, so that's why their soup always tastes different.
Yeah. I'm not in this discussion again. My chest. But maggot is protein now.
It's exactly. It's protein.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
People should not do that.
Don't say, when I used to travel from Port Harcourt a lot to Lagos, there's what they call edible.
Why they call they call it edible maggots.
And it's convertible maggots.
Edible is worm now, caterpillar. It's very, very succulent.
You know, I'm actually pleased that you mentioned food right now, because my focus right now is on food and the cost of food and everything that is going on right now. And I find it very worrisome. In fact, you go to the market with your money, you might come back with tears, and that's the truth. And one thing that worries me the most is, who is pegging these prices? Who is controlling these prices? Because how do I go to the market to buy yam that was sold for 500 to 800 naira, that small one, as at this time last month, and get to the market and it's being sold for 5,000, 5,005 today? What caused that huge hike?
Dollar went up.
A small pint of potatoes that used to be 2,000 naira is now 7,000 naira. Please, who increased it? What cost it?
Dollar.
Say who increased it?
There is no pepper in the market. If I'm not using my British pronunciation of pepper. Pepper is not in the market. Rodo. If you get Rodo, be ready to pay through your nose. One tomato is now 200 naira. See, we know there are problems in this country, but what is going on with retailers now? What is going on? This baby children's drink, that small pack, a carton of it can be sold for about 2,800 in the market. You should sell it for, say, 150 naira, right? It is now being sold for 200 naira, which means 2,000 naira profits on a pack of children's drink. We know we have problems in this country, but kilo leto yen. Why is everybody just deciding, I'll wake up in the morning, listen, I'm selling 50 naira. No, you don't pay me. May I sell out 200 naira.
Calm down, my dear.
So
it's ridiculous now. What's the Price Regulatory Commission doing?
I don't know if it is even functional, as it were. But you definitely, especially in times as such, when the inflation rate is just, inflation is just going up and over, amidst the agitation for minimum wage. And like a number of people have mentioned, first of all, this minimum wage, how many people is it affecting? Civil service, right?
Public servants.
It doesn't, I've never heard about how the thing went to private. It doesn't, that one doesn't just, and then even amongst the public service, I was talking about, there are, as at the end of last year, about 11 states, stand to be corrected, were unable to pay even the minimum wage of 30.
The 30, yes. It's even supposed to be 33, I think.
So, yes, 30, 35.
But they can't even pay 30.
They're unable to pay it. And so this one is not like they are owing. It's not like they are owing. They say, oh, we'll pay you back. No, they're unable to even pay it. And you see someone mentioned that once this happens, and the minimum wage is moved, your landlord is waiting to add something. The granite seller, the gari seller is waiting to add something.
Yeah, literally waiting. Yeah.
So the issue now is shouldn't there be some kind of price regulation in such a way as to understand that, yes, you do have to make profit as a businessman. And really, in a competitive market, you wouldn't really be talking about price regulation. But in times as such, you understand, where where things are happening in the way they are happening. And then the government, you know, there's even been talk about how the amount was going to be spending on subsidy for this year and all of that. There should be some sort of regulation.
Of course, there's no doubt about that. So earlier, when we were on the couch, I was talking about how I was having a conversation with my neighbor, and then she literally said, we're actually just talking about the whole idea of some beaches that literally were, some structures of some beaches that literally were demolished because of the road and the plans and everything, and how going forward, it was now realized that the parts they still wanted to put the bridge over, now they realized that there were some fiber optic cables that were now planted there. So because of that, they now shifted plans and made, or rather they are working on like making another way to see the way they can do that without disrupting that.
The fiber
optics. Now the reason I'm bringing this up at this time is because they had to get to the point where they realized, oh, if we do this, oh, it will affect this, then let's go back to the drawing board and then re-strategize. What happened to that thinking and that planning prior to, is it that there was no plan, they were just moving and demolishing, then, and so you're thinking of how citizens lost their homes, businesses lost their businesses. That was not as important as fiber optic cables. Maybe that is my, so I'm thinking about, so where is the priority? I'm saying that and linking that to this conversation in the sense that we do a lot of things without planning from all levels. We're putting the cart constantly before the horse. Because correct, yes, NLC is fighting for the general good of the people. Prices are going up. Minimum wage needs to be increased. But yes, the question of when it increases, what is capping the landlords from increasing their rent? What is capping the sellers in the markets from increasing their prices? People are literally just doing things anyhow because they know there are no circumstances. There are no consequences. They are just moving based on the, like, so the country is literally just moving. And another thing we also mentioned earlier, which I feel is another major problem, is the fact that everyone now seems to, I mean, there's so much happening at the same time. Nobody is planning, there's a lack of planning. Nobody is planning that, okay, see, this subsidy we are removing from this fuel, this price is going to increase, it's going to affect a lot of things. Let's allow these people shock it, right? What are the other ways we can actually see to actually help mitigate all of this? Not by giving people to 2K or for 5K.
You know,
what are the structural changes that can actually support these changes and plans that we're having? So it's just really disheartening and tiring.
But let me play the devil's advocate. The issue is the Nigerian factor. And that's just the bottom line. I believe that when a government is trying to make certain policies, trying to make certain things happen, they look at it that, okay, well, let's make it. It's just like planning a budget for any company. You can say, oh, let's cushion it. We are planning to buy this item for 500 naira, but next year it might go up to 700. Nobody expects it to go up to 4,000 naira. The same item that was sold 500 naira. Now, I want to believe that, and this is me, as I said, playing the devil's advocate, that when the government was making all these plans, they expected, okay, maybe this one might come up to this price, this one might come up to this price, but not to this point. But Nigerians take power into their hands. How did dollar go from 400-500 naira to 2,000 naira, and many items went from 400 naira to 10,000 naira?
Even items that have no link.
That have no link sometimes to even the dollar. Yes, you might say indirectly.
Yeah, indirectly.
But Biko, how? That is why I am saying that the government needs to work on price regulation. I actually believe that that's one of the things the NLC should be fighting for right now. Price regulation. Let us go to the market today, and even if there's an increment, come and do 500 naira or 50 naira. That used to be the case. What is going on now? Why are things increasing by times 10, times 20, times 80, times 100?
Well,
it's maddening.
One other thing is, you know, the NLC put up this particular list of what senators earn. Now, every time that list comes out, something like that comes out, what happens is that the lawmakers always bring out a statement to say, no, that's not true. But they never ever tell us how much they earn.
Yeah.
Which even makes me think that maybe this money is even lower than what people actually earn.
Yes,
When we get to the point where service, because a lot, I mean, our lawmakers, what are we there for? A lot is on you. There's a responsibility to serve. And it so happens that if it is no longer a point where it is a cash grab, if you were earning less than that, how many of you would do this because you were serving a country? You know, there's a lot to go on about
this. The president was paid 50,000 in 1979.
Let us know your thoughts about all of this. Just hit us in the comments. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. We will be back after this time.